Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Voices of Africa on Chatnite. If the Lord did not require you to get an insurance on your car, would you do it? What are the critical questions you ought to have in mind before you get an insurance on your car? The answers will surprise you on the show today. There is so much more. And so stay tuned. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me now in welcoming our expert who will be taking our questions, but also yours on the phone this week on Voices of Africa, Mr. Atonfack, Adrien.
Good evening.
Mr. Atonfack, Adrien, thank you for accepting to come on Voices of Africa on Chatnite this week. We appreciate you accepting our invitation, sir.
Thank you so much, Divine. Thank you, Chatnite Africa. It's my pleasure to be here tonight so we can talk and educate our community and people who need to know more about insurance. It's my pleasure for being here.
Thank you, sir. And I'd like to also inform our audience that in the course of the broadcast, I will open the phone line into the studio. That way people can call and question you directly, unfiltered. Mr. Adrien Atonfack, chances are that people who are watching this broadcast either own a car or own cars or drive cars. If they're not driving, they're passengers in a car. You do insurance. You are the CEO of Mafo and Lewo company that deals with insurance and all other things, so many things, car insurance, health insurance, liability, all kinds of things. And so, as I said, if somebody is not driving a car, he owns one, or he is a passenger in a car. So we'll talk about lots of other things. But the question I have for you, sir, is, do you have the impression that people know what they should know adequately before they go to take an insurance on their car?
The answer will be straightforward, no. And no, because the people wanted to get a cheap price, cheap premium, but they don't realize that the coverage that they have don't fit. It's not suitable for what is required either by their family or by people driving with them on the car. So I will just give you some few things, how many people we know that we have approximately 80 million people who drive a car every day in America. But most of them, they do not know how to shop for their car insurance, and they often surprised why the insurance carrier cannot cover A, B, and D. So before you get your car insurance, you have to make sure that you get the proper coverage limit. Don't put the too high deductible on your coverage, and then make sure that you have a good carrier that will quickly assess your claim whenever you have a problem. So that's what I can say to people who most often shop for car insurance. And you must also avoid to get the sales pitch from online carrier or from online insurance, because I have a perfect example. For the last 2-3 months, I have people who came to me and said that they have an online insurance for $80 or for $70. And then those are the sell people that they sell in different states with some car insurance product that are not admitted. And you will not find out until you run to an accident and you realize that your premium will go 10 times what you're supposed to pay, and they'll even black you out for even get another insurance somewhere else. So I'd strongly recommend that you speak to an agent, local agent, which is we are here as Mafu and Leo represent you. And also when there is a claim, we can also guide you to process the claim.
Let's talk about the kinds of insurance options that people, like I said, I mean, people watching this broadcast, chances are that almost every one of them drives a car. If you're going to take an insurance, what are the things that you should have in mind before you're going to get an insurance on your car? And this is very important because oftentimes people find themselves in an embarrassment when they run into problems. Listen, when you get on the road, either you run into problems or somebody runs into you. So the chances are always there. So the question I'm asking you, sir, is what are the things that people ought to know, have in mind when they sit in front of an insurance agent? And what questions should they be asking?
Okay, that's when they come to us, they should probably ask about full coverage. We always recommend full coverage. Most often, people would like to get liability, but they don't realize that when they run to a problem, liability does not cover everything. So when they get it to us, we recommend them to get a full coverage for many reasons. When you have a full coverage with adequate carrier, you are covered for anything, third party, yourself, people driving the car with you. And if you don't have that, it will be difficult for you to get out of trouble when you run to an accident. And seriously, between a serious accident that can cause death. Okay? So people should be mindful not just to run to the online insurance or just to run to the cheaper insurance. And you can see by yourself that every day in America, every second, an accident is happening in America on our road. People die from it. And if you don't have the proper insurance, it will be really difficult. If you didn't talk to an agent who can structure your policy the way that you can cover all the liability and especially the high coverage limit, you will be in deep trouble.
But then when you meet an insurance agent, you want to take an insurance for your car, you meet an insurance agent. They're asking, where do you live? What's your zip code? How much do you drive? How far away do you drive? What has that got to do with your insurance? What is it that they're not telling you?
Technically, the insurance agents has a database, okay, that collected all the driving behavior. Also, it collected the zip code, those zip code where some certain zip code have a high crime rate, or people can steal car, people can break into the car. All those aspects affected your premium. So depending where you live, depending what you do, depending how you drive, what we call driving behavior can affect your premium. So that has nothing to do with the agent. It has nothing to do with the carrier. That's what we call a rating system in insurance industry.
But then, what people don't understand, sir, is whether if it's a new car, you have some extended coverage or it's an old car. What kind of insurance should you be taking? Should you take limited insurance or extended insurance depending on whether the car is new or secondhand?
At this level, it does not matter. When you run to an accident, it doesn't matter if the car is new or secondhand or used car. The impact will still be the same. If someone had to die because the accident happened, the person will die. The coverage or the pay amount will still be the same. So it shouldn't be a problem. The only thing that the benefit on new car here is just the car has some feature that can lower down your premium. For instance, you have a turn warning, you have a backup camera on some new car right now, you have a braking suddenly system that can prevent you running to a back of the car. But they need to realize also that with the system of insurance rating, the cost of living, also the insurance rate has gone up, and they also went up because people are so distracted. It doesn't matter today if you are at fault or the other party is at fault, it's still going to cost you, because the insurance industry have realized that people are so much on their phone instead of concentrated driving the car. So those are the things that they get into the system and impacting your premium. But you should talk to an insurance agent like us so we can advise you and tell you which type of coverage you should have to be on the right place.
What's happening so that when you have teenagers, they tend to pay, the insurance rates go up instead of, and depending on the ages, what is it that the insurance company is looking for?
You see, again, it's coming back to the risk management and risk assessment. Young people tend to run too many accidents often. So the company, many insurance or the company rating tend to understand that the youngest people run too much of incident. Therefore, their class of rating of premium should be high to compensate what we call payout claim. So the more you run to claim, the more your insurance can goes up.
You are watching Voices of Africa on Chatnite Africa. My name is Divine Chamukong, and my guest today is Mr. Adrien Guy Atonfack. What are some other things that people generally are unaware of when they're going to take insurance, car insurance, for example? Are there other things that you think that people should be aware of that they don't know?
Yes. People are not aware that the driving behavior is recording into a database. Okay. For instance, you have the driving record that is pulled up from the MVA. All those pieces are part of rating your insurance. You have an insurance system credit that show how often you pay your credit, your insurance. It show if you have a bad credit history on insurance payment. So all those are factors that they should be aware of. I have seen many people thinking that they can just cancel the car insurance and just walk away. No, when you walk away, the MVA is after you, the insurance after you, and it get into your driving record. The next time that you would like it to register for a car, if you haven't paid all the flag at the MVA or pay all the fee that you have accumulated, you will not be able to register for a car. We often in our community, especially immigrants, think that it's not important. This is one aspect of driving history or driving behavior that we should be aware of. If you have a car that do not carry any more insurance, the first thing to do is to return the tag to the MVA as soon as possible. If you have an insurance and you wanted to move to a different carrier, you have to make sure that you don't have what we call a lapse. Because when you cancel your insurance today and you still have the car, or you're driving the car without insurance, you have what we call the lapse. And the next thing that you will do to shop for insurance, they will ask you if you ever have a lapse in insurance. In insurance. So those things are combined, compilation to be a good driver and have a good driving record and have a good driving insurance record also in the system. Also, we have to remember that insurance rely on all the information that the police, the MVA put out there. So it's really, really important that they are aware of all those issues.
On the road, Mr. Atonfack, are people who haven't insured their cars. If you run into an accident with somebody who hasn't insurance on their car, how does the insurance company? How is it handled?
I will advise people that as soon as you run to an accident, the first thing most of the time to do is to call the police. Any police will be there and give you the report. If you cannot get the report, at least get the officer's names, get their badge number to follow up and get that accident report. Because
I have somebody on the line. This is Voices of Africa on Chatnite. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. You have a question or comment as you listen to Mr. Atonfack?
Oh, yeah. My name is Stephanie, and I am one of customer of Mr. Atonfack. Mr. Atonfack gives me a chance to discover his business, and he helped me a lot. I remember last 2 years, I was stuck with the insurance, the health insurance, and she was like an angel where God sent to come and help me and give me a way to get the new insurance for the new year. I really appreciate. And also, I was out of stock with my car insurance. He also helped me to get a new one. I was like, wow! It was. I really advise people to follow him, to call him, to contact him, because he is so patient. He is so helpful. He really follow me to try to help me to solve my problem. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much for dialing into the show. And I'm informing other people, if you want to dial into the show, the number is 240-603-7367. 240-603-7367. Thank you for calling, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Atonfack, you also work in the area of health insurance.
Yes.
Some people don't have insurance from their workplaces, either perhaps because they're expensive. Must somebody really have to have insurance with their employer? And if not, what options do they have?
Divine, that's a critical aspect of our business here at Mafo and Lewo, because people need to realize that without health insurance or without a proper health, if you're not healthy, there's nothing that you can do. All these things that we are talking about, car insurance, work-related, name it. If you're not healthy, there's nothing that you can do. This is why this is one of our core value at Mafo and Lewo, to make sure that any person who call us, who cross our business, we must at least ask them if they carry a proper health insurance. You will realize that in the year 2010, we have about 60 million people without health insurance in a healthy nation like the United States. And if you don't have a proper healthy people to work or to go to school, there's no nation. There's no one who's going to get the torch to take over and do what we are doing today. So we must have people who are healthy. This is why at Mafo and Lewo, we provide a way to people to have health insurance. Now, coming to the point that can someone hide it at the workplace, or is it possible? Yes, today, after the Affordable Care Act, it's possible that an employee can get a health coverage somewhere else, what we usually call health exchange. So people should call us if they do not have insurance to make sure that they can get those services from us, so we can even advise them to get the proper coverage if they do not have a proper coverage from work. Remember, our working class, the white collar job, most often get hooked to their job because that's one of the essential benefits that they're chasing at workplace. Employer also, most often, the cost of ensure a small group of employees who are small business owner is also too much costly. So we have all those advantages that we can go from individual health insurance, small business insurance, and commercial insurance to provide the affordable health plan. And we deal with major carrier like Kaiser, United Healthcare, Aetna, Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield, that we deal with them. So I'm going to take a perfect example here to illustrate what I'm talking about. I have a nurse who was working way back, and they wanted to stay at their job because they couldn't lose their healthcare because they have a special child need problem, and also they have a little kid, they needed insurance. So the employee, they had to hold on to that job because if they lose their job, they will lose their health insurance. But since the ACA Act, they can decide to have their proper health plan to us or to the Maryland Exchange or to any exchange that you may find out there. And I may remember also that we serve on health insurance plan to Maryland, Virginia, and to the District of Columbia. So the chance is on them to make sure that they get the proper coverage. And this is one of our core values that we die to provide service out there.
We will be right back with Mr. Adrien Atonfack on other areas of insurance. I know when you talk about insurance, sometimes people are saying, do we need it? Let's now have a commercial break before we continue. I'll be right back.
Imagine a reserve setting that communicates directly with nature. You are there, Jirai's Guest Rooms. It is the ideal place for the best furnished apartments. Whether you are alone, as a couple, or as a family, your stay will be most pleasant in the Jirai's Guest Rooms, where comfort and security punctuate your daily life. To facilitate travel for its customers, Jirai's Guest Room have provided luxurious vehicles available 24 hours a day. You are passing through Yaoundé, ask for Jirai's Guest Room located in the Mbangong Koloso Mbankomo district, 25 minutes from Yaoundé Simaleng International Airport. Reservations 679257925 or 699007685. Jirai's Guest Room, more than a pleasure to serve you.
That's right. If you find yourself in Yaoundé, Cameroon, that's one of the places you want to visit, Jirai's Guest Room. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, Mr. Atonfack. We are going to talk now about life insurance. You see, when we live, sometimes we forget that you could get on the road. We're just talking about car insurance.
Yes.
You can get on the road and somebody runs into you. Something can happen, and things do happen. You're working today and you're not going to work the rest of your life. So the question is, have you prepared for your loved ones? Now, some people tend not to want to hear about insurance because they say, you know what, when I die, I'm gone. But you are here to say, you know what, you have good news. You don't have to wait until you die to enjoy the insurance. Furthermore, if you make, for example, $100,000 a year, maybe you're an IT specialist or any other $80,000 you make, there are ways that you can save money that are tax-free instead of going to the bank every day and writing a check. Please, can you divulge these secrets? People, the Jews, whites, white Caucasian Americans, Asian Americans seem to know what a lot of us Africans and immigrants don't know. Why is that so, Mr. Atonfack? Why?
The question is why, and I won't be able to answer it right away rather than doing what we call a rhetoric question to the listener. If I frame my question to all of people who are listening, do you know why between car insurance, home insurance, life insurance, and health insurance just recently, or life insurance precisely, are not mandatory? I always ask this question to my client. They never seem to get the answer. The answer to that question is straight and forward. Between the car, the home insurance, and the life insurance does not benefit the system. The life insurance benefits you and benefit your family. And people need to realize and take out that myth. If life insurance was just for people to die, it would have been called die insurance or death insurance. But it called life insurance for the purpose that you have to be alive and use it. Okay? People need to understand that. And here at Mafo and Lewu, we provide those type of life insurance that you can use anytime before you are dead or before anything happened to you. And you call it a life insurance with a living benefit. And you call it life insurance with living benefit for the purpose of you can use it to prepare for your retirement. You can use it for your college, for your saving. You can use it also for disability. For instance, you can use it also to pay off your mortgage. So it's critical that it's a big area. It's a vast domain to debate with individuals who have problems who do not have life insurance. And I have to
let me just touch on something. You say you can use it for disability. How can you use your life insurance for disability?
I'm going to take a
give me an example.
Yeah, I'm going to give you an example. If you have people who are in nursing room today, most of them at age 65 must go to some disability. So they can use that to be in the nursing room and access the policy if they have a terminal illness, a chronic illness, okay? Or if they cannot perform 2 out of the daily activity, which will be called disabled people, they can access that life insurance before their death. Because at the end of the day, to put it simple, so people can understand before I go to many technical aspects, the carrier or the policy of that insurance know that at some point they will pay you a benefit, what we call a face amount. So you can access that face amount when you are disabled, because at any time the insurance know that you will die anyway. The only math 100% that we show in life insurance product is we will all die.
We will all die, but nobody wants to talk about it.
That's the fact. That's the fact.
Let me ask you this. That's very true. Here's my question to you. You have 2 parents.
Yes.
They just gave birth to babies. Would you rather the parent A decides to go put money in the bank for that child? Parent B decides to take an insurance for that child. Which is better? What would you, if both parents came to you, what would you tell them?
You know, it's really simple to advise, but it's really hard to take a decision on the place of other people. If I have a parent A and a parent B who have a little child, as we all know, the cost of insurance at the young age is really, really small. So most of the time we advise people that you can set up a life insurance for a kid at the young age that can help them have what we call a cash value on that life insurance to pay for their tuition, to pay for their college. Similarly, if you have everything set up properly, and this is depending of any family and any amount that you want to put aside, if we build it correctly for you, at some point, that kid can even access the cash value on that policy to even jumpstart a business if they decide not to go for college. And also it's so advantageous because of when the kids apply for university, they will not consider the life insurance as an asset that can count against them for scholarship. Parent B who put, and then also the rate of insurance that accumulated on the policy is really higher than the money that you put in the bank. When you put your money in the bank, the most that the bank can give you is 0.5%. So it does not matter how much you put down on that bank, in that bank, that money will not build some interest comparative to the life insurance. The parent B will put all the money into the bank, that money will accumulate only 0.05% of interest. And then at the end of the day, when you have problem, you access that money and there's no other coverage. The parent B, A, have already a life insurance set up for their kid. We never know. Life is so short. We don't know when we're going to die. We don't know the future. If something ever happened to your kid, at least they have a life insurance. If your kids play football or soccer at school, where we all know that they don't have many coverage as we know, they will be covered for being disabled for playing sport from that policy that you have at the early age. Beside that, you can convert that policy also when the kid become an adult and they can use it and just add the face value and it will be no medical acts, for instance. So it depends of all the circumstances, but the answer to you is I would rather advise them to get a life insurance for their child than put money into the bank, because the money, your money into the bank, you're not earning anything. You'd have to turn the life insurance, the type of life insurance that we advise, to your own banking system. So you can access it either as a collateral for some certain thing, or you can access it as a cash withdrawal to do some certain thing. So it's really, really important. I'm speaking in the plain language so people can really understand what does that really means and what can the life insurance can do for them versus banking system on the young child.
If you take somebody who is working, there are days that sometimes you cannot go to work, either because you are sick, maybe for 3-4 days, and then you are losing income that day. Are there some forms of insurance that you can get that takes care of situations like that? The day that you can go to work, you lose your income. So explain to us, sir.
Yes, we call that the disability insurance. And the disability.
How does it work?
Yeah, the disability insurance and most of the time we advise this to any person who has income out there. A disability income allow you to access to have some income up to 60% of the earning income that you currently have at the moment that you were disabled to the amount of your salary. It typically means that if you or me, for instance, I'm making $100,000 a year, and suddenly I'm working out there and fall, and I can go back to work, in the next 60 days, I can file for disability insurance, and they will pay me my 60% of the salary that I was earning at that moment. And the cost of that is between 1 to 2.5 or to up to 3% of the salary. It means that if you're earning $100,000, you can do the math and see how much you'll be paying for a year to earn 60% of your salary when something ever happened to you. And we tend.
Before you continue, sir, hold your thought there. Somebody's on the line. This is Voices of Africa. Welcome on the show. Hello? Hello? Well, I thought somebody was on the line. Hello? All right. You may want to call back. Yes, continue, sir.
So it's really important. If you are a father of 3, a father of 4 kids, or even just by yourself, and you run to an accident, we were talking previously for car accident, okay? And you run to an accident and you cannot go back to work. Your workplace will not pay you because it's not even work related, or because they cannot pay you workman compensation. Even that workman compensation just lasts few months, and then it ends. Then what you gonna do? How you gonna pay your bill? How you gonna pay your electricity? How you gonna pay A, B, and Z? How you gonna survive? So this is one of the most important thing also that in our brokerage, doing insurance for the years that I've been doing, also advise anyone who's out there, especially white collar people. If you're out there as a nurse, as a doctor, and own a business, I don't see the reason why you cannot have a disability insurance in case something ever happened to your income. People call us most of the time. I have a perfect example, a lady who was working as in a lawyer office as a secretary, and the lawyer has just a small business. The lady was paying out of her paycheck some disability insurance. One day she was walking out of her house during the winter time. She slept and fall, and her back completely went out. She was not able to go back to work. The workman compensation cannot pay the entire year or the entire 2 year for her bill. She she filed for disability for that period of time for not being at work due to the accident, and she was getting paid 60% of her salary to get back to her feet in order to find either another job or go back to the job that she was working at. And also, people need to realize that you have different type of disability. You have a disability that can be a full or partial, so it depends. I don't want to go too much in deep into this, but people can call us for a specific work class related, and we will give them more information and more detail.
So workman compensation only does something if you had an accident at work.
Exactly. It's related to work. So related to work.
That's right. That's right. So imagine that you didn't have any insurance, disability insurance, and during winter you slide out on snow and fall. You don't have money. You can pay your bills. You can't. And that's why we do this program. You see, when we choose topics, we make sure that our viewers are at the center of the choices that we make. And information is power, but information that you get and act on is more powerful. Yes, continue, sir.
Yeah, it's really more powerful. I have an electrician who owns a small business. We all know what people do out there as a small business, plumbing, carpenter, property manager, mechanic, electrician, you name it. That small business hire people, and they were on W-2. And the law also require, and even some certain city or some state, that if you hire people, you must provide a workman compensation. Unfortunately, that man has a business. Listen to me, the divine. He has a business. He's been in business for more than 10 years. He has already accumulated a lot of benefit from the business. He hired employee, he has a general liability, but did not have a workman compensation. An employer get to work and get in an accident, a serious accident. First of all, he don't have a workman compensation, is a violation. Second, he cannot afford to pay all the claim and continue paying the family member for the accident that happened to work. So all those type of line of service are the service that Mafo and Lewu will be by your side, either an individual level, family level, business owner level, you name it, to guide you to purchase those insurance. And we have to remember, this country is founded mostly on insurance business. Beside, without exaggeration, the property, the property, okay, or the real estate. So any person who's out there has to do with insurance, doesn't matter at what level. So we are offering this not just for us because we want really to sell, but because we wanted to open our door to educate our family, to educate business owners, to educate friends, to educate people on that aspect of insurance on all the level of line that we provide. So it's really, really critical. If you are there listening to this show as of today and you own a business and you employ people, you have employee that you pay either on W-2 or 1099, and you do not have a workman compensation, please call us. We will help you structure something to cover your asset. By the way, that man end up closing his business and he's end up with $0. This is a true story. $0 for a business.
What happened?
Again, I'm telling you, the man went to work as an electrician, got shot. It was completely, it was a huge problem, health issue, and he didn't have a workman compensation. He ended up getting fired by the state for not having a workman compensation. He ended up using all his assets to pay all the liability related to that work, related to that accident. But if he did have at least a workman compensation, because of the limit, depending of the job that you perform out there, the limit of coverage is always there to add or to at least take the minimum between 500 to 1 million to 2 million. Okay, so he ended up closing, and he ended up not even doing the business because he has already really worked hard to earn what he lost due to the fact that he did not have the proper insurance. Okay, he has a general liability, but only a small portion, which is one aspect of our line of service that we recommend people out there to have, which we call general liability.
And it seems to me that even people who own restaurants need insurance. And what reason would somebody who owns, I mean, if you come to Maryland or you go to other cities around the United States, a lot of Africans are running restaurants. Are you suggesting that they should have insurance? They're running hair salons. Are you suggesting that they have business insurance? And if so, for what? Why?
Again, it's a critical point that many immigrants or many people out there neglected. If you are running a small business out there, for example, as you listed, restaurant. Let's say someone walked to your restaurant and they eat something and they claim that they have a food poisoning, and you do not have a general liability or a proper insurance, you're going to end up closing. This is why many small business in America open every day and close, because they do not have the proper insurance to defend them. They do not have the proper agent to structure all the liability that can come against them. So any person who has a salon, or any person who has a small nursing home out there, any person who having a restaurant out there, please contact us so we can structure something for you, either at the level of general liability or at the level of professional liability. Because beside all the things that you listed, all the job, all the small business that you listed, is they have to carry what we call professional liability insurance, what we call E&O, error and omission. It means that Mr. Duval, if you have a nurse who is performing as a nurse practitioner and she own her own clinical, and for instance she practice her profession not the right way and she gets sued and she does not carry a professional liability, a professional insurance, she will get to a lot of trouble because her license can even be suspended. But if you have an error and omission insurance, it will help you say that at least you are covered for any error that you have made during practicing your job or during the performance of what you're doing as a work related. So it's really, really important. And this is why, again, I'm going to emphasize to this. This is why many business are opening and closed, because the moment that a problem knocks to their doors, they do not have anything. I have seen so many. When they come to us, it's already late. People who own CPA, people who own CPA firm, people who own anything. Someone come there and just, for instance, for an example, accusing you for harassment, and if you don't have a general liability, how are you going to get covered? If someone walk to your office and say that they knock their knees to your chair and you get sued, how are you going to pay for that? So those insurance and line of business are there to support you and cover you whenever problem come to you. But more often, we realize that they don't do it the right way. This is why we are here. This is why I'm here tonight, to speak on plain language so everybody can grab it.
What's your phone number, sir, if somebody wanted to contact you before we continue?
301-355-6368.
301-355-6368.
Yes.
Okay, very good. I have a question here. By the way, anybody can dial this into the studio, 240-603-7367, 240-603-7367. If you dial this number, you'll be talking to the world via Chatnite Africa, and the program is Voices of Africa. You can go ahead, share this video. It's also going to be on YouTube. Many people come and watch later on. We appreciate you. I have a text here. Somebody's asking if it's better to invest in life insurance. Now we know it's life insurance because you can actually take advantage of it while you are still alive. You don't have to die first to take, you can take advantage of it. Now, so the question is, should somebody invest in life insurance, which serves as investment, they can actually pull cash out of it, or they should do the 401k?
That is a question that as a professional, ethically, I will answer it that I recommend as a professional ethical rule to invest on both, but you can put all your golden eggs into life insurance. Why? Because a 401k, if the job provide that to you, I will not be the one not to recommend you not to take it, especially if your employer matching and you have to check the percentage of matching. For instance, some company match $1 to $1, some company matching in some level of percentage. So I would recommend you to take that advantage for free money. But you have to remember that there is tax defer. Tax defer means that they will tax you later. Contrary to the life insurance, is tax free. Anything that you access is tax free. And again, if this was not something that you cannot use when you are alive, it shouldn't be called life insurance. And keep emphasizing.
I like that.
Keep emphasizing onto this term. So life insurance is tax free, and you invest into it. And I can even structure depend on your age, depend on what you have, because people need to realize in life insurance you have critical aspect that must play. Either you have money, either you have time, either you are healthy, either you are aging. Your age is lesser than what can allow you to afford some certain premium at a good rate. So those critical aspects play a major role into the life insurance. So people shouldn't be waiting until they get sick to seek for life insurance. People shouldn't be waiting until they get old to get life insurance. People shouldn't be waiting to have money to have life insurance. We have in our agency, in our brokerage, every penny can be a policy. Means what? If you come to us, our goal is to make sure that you have something. If you cannot afford the one that can allow you to invest, then afford at least something that is term insurance to cover your loved one. That way, if you are not alive or something ever happened to you, they can use that money to pay instead of going around GoFund all left, and you may know GoFundMe. I'm not a big favor of that. Okay, so investing into the life insurance, I can structure it the way you want, either for your retirement, either for your vacation, either for your dream home, depending on your age. But at the same time, the answer is yes, we can structure that for an investment. And more often.
And Africans love to go. Africans love vacations. Yes. This time around, the destination is Dubai.
Exactly. The
Dubai. All Africans in the United States are going to Dubai.
And then Dubai. I'm taking an example in our community. If you ask people out there who have been doing Jangi, Susu, name it, for the last 10 years or for the last 15 years, the result or the impact that have done into their life or will do for them when they get old, they will not tell you. I rather advise my African brother or any immigrant out there or any American out there, because our brokerage is open to everybody, to make sure that when you have a 500 Susu, when you have a 500, when you're capable of doing a 500 Susu or a 500 Jangi every month,
or Tongtin,
please talk to us. Talk to us so we can advise you to keep doing your Tongtin, your Susu, your Jangi. Instead of $500, do 200 and probably do 300 into the life insurance, because you will need that money when you cannot be able to go back to work.
And this makes sense to me a lot, and it should make sense to everybody, because I can't think of anybody who is working today who should not be conscious of the fact that at some point in life they wouldn't be able to go to work or work the same way.
Exactly. So we have to understand that the life is a different stage. You born, okay, you live, you get old, and you die. And between all those stages, each one has its own peak. All right. It means that if you are a baby, if someone helped you to structure, your parents to structure a life insurance for you, you can use it all the way to your old age. And then people need to realize that at your old age, you'll not be capable of doing two jobs. So what have you done to make sure that at your old age, you'll be capable to support yourself? And beside that, what have you done to make sure that if something ever happened to you, that your kids don't find themselves on the street? This is a critical topic and critical aspect of dealing with insurance at all levels. And I'm keep telling them, and I'm keep asking anybody out there, can you please really tell me why car insurance, home insurance is required by law for you to have it and not the life insurance? And you cannot insure yourself and your family and your loved one? Please, my people, please, anyone out there, either American or immigrant, must take action to cover themselves first. Because if you do not do it, no one else will do it. Okay? If you take,
and here is what Beatrice.
Hold on a minute. If you take
Yes.
the average of people, any household out there in America, the average of premium that they put on car insurance and home insurance, the average is $500. You paying for that for a house that you are not even sure that it will burn down. You pay for the car insurance that you're not even sure that you're going into an accident, versus not paying anything for yourself that you know that you will die. I think it's time for us.
Wow.
I think it's time for us to.
There's a lot of wisdom in what you say. Here is what Beatrice Moma says. She's in Michigan. Life insurance is very preferable because it's not taxable. Great advice, sir. You want to comment on that?
Yes, that's true. It has a lot of tax advantage, and I cannot advise people otherwise. I will tell someone straightforward, but as I said, as a professional, since you asked me on double side of question between 401k and life insurance, ethically, I will tell them, go to life insurance. It has a lot of advantage. Again, as I listed on this program earlier, terminal illness, critical illness. For instance, I have a woman who has a cancer. The doctor said that she will pass away in the next 2 years. That lady has a good life insurance. She access all her money to do whatever they wanted to do, to live the real life. Because I don't know, but people need to live also their life up here before they think also about other life. That will be one thing that she did before she really passed away. And that lady passed away. The remaining balance on her face value went to his granddaughter. And the granddaughter took that money to jumpstart a business. If that money was in the bank, to access it, it will be a lot of probate. It will be you have to provide A, B, and C. So we have to think about this. We have to really think about it. When I'm talking about this issue, Mr. Divine, it gets to me because I'm not here just to sell. And the problem that we're having out there, people think that we are sellers in insurance industry. No, we are not a multiple level marketing brokerage. We're here to help people. We're here to make sure that our people are covered on all the aspects of business line that we have listed so far.
It's very important because we're beginning to see a lot of GoFundMes everywhere. GoFundMe, GoFundMe, GoFundMe. Now, if you want to contact Mr. Adrien Guy Atonfack, this is the phone number on the screen, 301-355-6368. Let me repeat, 301-355-6368. We will be right back with Mr. Atonfack. Time for us to have a commercial break.
More than a pleasure to serve you. Communicate directly with nature. You are there, G-Rice Guest Rooms. It is the ideal place for the best furnished apartments. Whether you are alone, as a couple, or as a family, your stay will be most pleasant in the G-Rice Guest Rooms, where comfort and security punctuate your daily life. To facilitate travel for its customers, G-Rice Guest Room have provided luxurious vehicles available 24 hours a day. You are passing through Yaoundé, ask for G-Rice Guest Room located in the Mbangong Koloso Mbankomo district, 25 minutes from Yaoundé Simaleng International Airport. Reservations 679257925 or 699007685. G-Rice Guest Room, more than a pleasure to serve you.
This is Chatnite Africa, and my name is Divine Chamakong. I'm anchoring this broadcast from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. I'd like to also thank my chief of technology at Chatnite Africa. He's actually producing this broadcast live from Lagos, Nigeria, Mr. Roger Full. Roger, you are a blessing to Chatnite Africa. One more time, Mr. Guy Atonfack. Mr. Atonfack, when we were preparing this broadcast, you said you couldn't come and go without speaking on property insurance. What is it about property insurance that you think people don't know that they should know?
Thank you again, Divine. Property insurance, usually we can consider it on property like a home, townhouse, you name it, or commercial property, because we have to dissociate all those things in our service and our business line. I'm gonna just go ahead with one fact here that the people did not realize or people don't know. And I have had several cases that I turned around and people were so happy about it. When people are in the stage of purchasing a house, at the settlement date, they cannot really close if they do not have a property insurance. That's the fact. More often, people are so focused of having the house, having the closing cost money, having the down payment, that they neglect that phase of insurance. And when they get to the settlement table, they propose them any insurance and they stuck with it for the next 5 years, with the next 6 years, without knowing that they can shop around and have a cheap rate for the property insurance. I have had at least 15 people who did their policy review and realized that they were still paying insurance on their property from day one that the settlement company provide them. And you guess what? The property insurance that the settlement provide to them, to most of the cases, was at least 20% higher than what we propose. What we are asking out there to people, and we have to also realize that you can combine as a package or as an umbrella with us to have only one single insurance to have also a discount. Home and property together under one umbrella. So they don't realize that they can get all that and cut down to at least 10 to 12% of their monthly mortgage payment. This perfect example, the lady was paying without knowing that she can shop around and have her own insurance rather than the financier or the mortgager company that is provide the loan for the home. We have them do what we call a free policy review. By the way, we ask anybody out there to do the policy review to any type of insurance that they have. It's always benefit to do the free policy review so we can compare apple to apple and provide the best of the best. People don't often realize that when they have a home insurance, that they can associate to that to the line, to the appliances, to anything that you may name it. But more often, where people don't realize that they call insurance that they did not fulfill their promise is because you buy cheap insurance on a home that the value is all the way up, and when any problem happen, that insurance can only give you the amount that you sign up for. So in order to have your insurance, you have to make sure that the square feet is okay. You have to make sure that you get all the square feet, the fixture on the house listed into your policy. Otherwise, whenever you run to a problem, the insurance can only give you the state amount that you agree on, and that money cannot buy or cannot rebuild the house that you are living into. Especially now. Yesterday, in last 10 years, the price of house, from the last 10 years, the price of house has went up. If you haven't done your policy review on your house that you bought 10, 15 years ago, or during the moment of the crisis where the house was really cheaper, and that house burned down today, that insurance can only give you what you have. And it's always good to do policy review.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back for your last word. This program was slated to be an hour. We're slightly above. We will be bringing back Mr. Adrien Guy Atonfack momentarily for his last word. Time for this musical interlude. Stay tuned.
Chatnite Africa, 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 Chatnite Africa. Chatnite Africa. Africa by continent. Africa is a beautiful place. Chatnite Africa promotes Afrocentric solutions to Africans' challenges.
My name is Divine Chamakong. I am anchoring this broadcast from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Ngu, Nicholas Santo. You say great expertise. By the way, you have won the U.S. American Presidential Award for your community service. Chatnite Africa will be broadcasting that event live. Just so you know, at Chatnite Africa now, we have equipment, state-of-the-art equipment, which we can broadcast any event live at location, live on site if you want. So we will be broadcasting that event for Mr. Nicholas Ngo Santo live on Chatnite Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now bring up another time, one more time, Mr. Adrien Guy Atonfack for his last word. Yes, Mr. Atonfack, what is your last word before we go?
Mr. Divine, I'm so grateful for being here tonight to make sure that I explain or I do this expose in plain language on basic terms so people can listen to us. Because we don't want to go to big word or big professional terminology, so to lose our listener. And I would also say that this month of September is a life insurance awareness. And this event has been going on for many years in the United States. And for this month of September, I couldn't stop for a minute for being here to explain to our followers, our community, our people, what life insurance also can do for them, what health insurance can do for them, what business insurance can do for them, what disability insurance can do for them. Those are the type of all the line of service that we provide, not as a seller or not as a multiple level marketing brokerage system, but as someone who's by your side to support you, to guide you, to help you, to advocate for you, for your success. Because at Mafo and Lewu, we believe that your business is our business. We believe the risk that you have is our risk. This is why we hold to the flag of awareness this month to have a little bit time to chat here at Chatnite Africa with Mr. Divine Chamakong, who's doing a great job for our community, to be with you. My contact number is 301-355-6368. And then our website is the name of our company, mafoandlewu.com. If you contact us, we will be by your side. We will provide the necessary service for you to succeed and do what you're supposed to do out there in this great country.
Here is what Mr. Thomas Ikali says. Good evening, Chatnite Africa. Great initiative, informative, great job. We choose topics with you in mind. You have to be at the center of what we do. Otherwise, we believe we'll be wasting our time here. Now, just before we actually go, let me tell you watching, regardless of nationality, if you know anybody who is doing selfless things in the society, who is doing things that put smiles in the faces of people, who is creating something, who is innovative, let us know. That's the kind of conversation we like to bring on Chatnite Africa. Mr. Adrien Guy Atonfack, I want to thank you so much for accepting our invitation to come on Voices of Africa at Chatnite.
Thank you so much, Divine. My pleasure.
And before I come back to say goodbye, I would just want to remind you that this broadcast is aired on different platforms. It's on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube, it's on the internet, www.chatniteafrica.net. It's also on Facebook. Thanks to my producer in Lagos, thousands of miles away from where I am in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, Mr. Z. Roger Full. Thank you, Roger. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be seeing you again next Friday for yet another very, very instructive broadcast. Go ahead and share this broadcast. I want to thank all of you who have been watching and who will come to watch. It's on YouTube right now. You can share the broadcast, talk to your friends about Chatnite Africa, about the efforts we make here. And before I go, I couldn't say good night without thanking all the people who continue to contribute money so that this platform looks this dazzling. There are lots of people who are doing things who don't want their names pronounced or disclosed. I understand that and I respect that. Thank you so much for remaining anonymous, yet doing things that change lives through Chatnite Africa. Good night. My name is Divine Chamukong. As I said earlier on, I will be seeing you again next week at the same time. Bye for now.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming to get down. I'm coming to dance, We're gonna dance, we're gonna get down, we're gonna party hardy. We're gonna boogie woogie, and when we jam, it's out of sight. This song right here, it's dynamite. I'm ready.